Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, can Ruth hear me? Ruth?
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I see it's actually 20 minutes past 8 p.m. So I'll rather we continue from where we left yesterday. So the rest will catch up with us because this session is being recorded. So actually emphasizing that, let us try to attend all of this session despite us having the recordings. Yesterday we were continuing with our analysis. So we were analyzing the business performance for a certain electronic company that specializes in selling electronics. So we had actually gone some miles. So whereby we try to analyze the performance of the business for the various years and months. So I believe by now you are in a position to use these statistical functions to analyze your data. So we went further to show how you can present your data. That is how you can format your charts, and also how you can make sure that it's neat before you present it or before you include it in your PowerPoint presentation. So today we are just going to pick up from where we left, and maybe after we are done we will look at a few new things. Confirm whether you can see my screen from your end.
Yes.
Fantastic. So yesterday we actually looked at how you can do descriptive statistics for your data. So I actually showed you the procedure of actually activating the data analysis toolpack, which is an add-in in Excel. So it is actually a useful tool in that it allows you to summarize your data at once. So for all your variables that you do have. So hope by now you can be able to use it. So for example, when we were actually doing descriptive statistics for the units sold, the unit price, and the sale amount. So we actually saw how you can apply descriptive statistics to actually summarize your data. So today I want to show you another thing in Excel called quick analysis. So quick analysis is actually used to summarize your data. Are we together? can hear some noise.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we want to see a quick analysis. Quick analysis. Just allow me to touch about on quick uh, analysis. So far, we have dealt with statistical functions that can enable you to summarize your data. So we've looked at things to like the mean, median, mode, and so on. So actually, those tasks are actually crucial in analyzing your data. So
Excuse me, Fred.
yes.
We are getting an echo. I'm getting an echo from your end. I don't know why.
Okay, let me see. How about now?
That's okay. Thanks.
Okay. Now we want to look at quick analysis. So quick analysis allows you to analyze your data quickly. So for example, maybe you have a very big data set and maybe you do not know where to start from or which angle will you take when you are trying to analyze your data. So the best quick way of analyzing that data is actually using the quick analysis tool in Excel. So for example, I want to analyze this as data, and maybe I do not know the kind of maybe graphs that I want to insert to my data. I do not know maybe the kind of maybe descriptive statistics that I need to do for this data. So with quick analysis, actually tool in Excel, you can be able to analyze your data very fast. So what quick analysis does, for example, if you have selected your data, so it gives you choices that you can begin analyzing your data. For example, maybe you do not know the graph that you want to insert to your data. So quick analysis will give you options of all the graphs that are suitable for your data set. So that's the beauty of the quick analysis tool. So I want to show you how actually it works. So for you to use the quick analysis, the first step that you need to do is to actually select the data that you want to analyze. So let us take, for this scenario, let us take this sales data and see what kind of charts maybe we can insert to this data, or what kind of tables we can also use for this data, and also see what are some of the statistics that we can compute from this data as well. So let me highlight this. So the first thing you do is to highlight the data. So after I've highlighted the data like this, so you either press Control Q. So when you press Control Q, it will bring you the data analysis, the quick analysis toolpack. So from there, you can actually choose what to do with your data. So apart from pressing Control Q, you can use this lightning symbol that you see here at my bottom right. Hope you can see this lightning symbol here. Confirm whether you can see from your end. When I hover around this lightning symbol, you can see a rectangle box pops up that's written quick analysis, and the shortcut is Control Q. Can you see from your end? Kindly confirm.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, from here, when I click on that lightning symbol, you can see it gives me various options. For example, if I want to format my data, so it has given me all the options. For example, maybe I want to insert data bus to my data. I just select data bus. I want to insert maybe a color scale. I highlight a color scale. Or maybe I want to maybe insert icon sets. I can also do that. So maybe I want to highlight maybe data that is maybe greater than a certain value. I just have to maybe select. So I may also want to maybe to format maybe the top 10% of the data. So the only thing that you can do, you just click on that, and then it will give you this dialog box whereby, for example, I want maybe to format maybe data that are maybe greater than maybe 50,000. So I'll just write here 50,000, 50,000, and then you choose the fill. Either you want a yellow fill, a green fill, a light fill, or you can also go to custom and choose the color that you want. So maybe you want orange like that. So you see, it has now highlighted all the data that is greater than 50,000. Yeah. So it appears that in our data, revenue is the data that has been highlighted that has actually values greater than 50,000, as you can see how it has done. So let us still highlight this data like this. And then just click on this lightning symbol. So maybe let's say we have looked at greater than. So maybe when maybe you want the icons, you can either choose. So my interest here goes to maybe charts. Maybe you do not know the kind of charts maybe that you can insert to your data. So you can, for example, choose clustered charts. You see now when I've actually hovered around the clustered column charts, you can see the option of the graph that is popping up. So you can choose this. So this is one of the graph that you can insert to your data. We have also this, another clustered column chart. This is actually for the sales managers. We have another one here for what? For actually managers still. So we have another one for regions and so on. So when you click on more charts, I click on more charts, you can see it gives me all the options of the graphs that I can insert to my data. So I can choose maybe the graph that I want to go with. I can maybe choose the first one or the second. So depending, so these are all types of graphs that you can actually insert to this data. So the beauty of the quick analysis tool in Excel, it actually tells you it recommends for you the right graphs that you can use. It also suggests for you maybe the kind of maybe statistics or the formatting that you can apply to your data. So, and also it can also give you the measures of central tendencies or the descriptive statistics that you can apply to your data. So all of these are actually different types of charts that you can insert to your data. So apart from now going to the insert tab on your menu bar to maybe to insert a chart to your data, you can just highlight your data, then go to quick analysis, and you will see all types of charts that have been recommended that are actually suitable for that data. Hope I'm clear up to that end. So let's say you want the first chart. See, it has actually inserted the chart. Or maybe let me admit someone here. Welcome me. So
Thank you. Sorry.
so let us maybe insert another graph. So we go to charts, we go to more charts. So maybe let us insert the second chart. You can see the type of chart that has actually popped up. This is actually analyzing the performance of the sales managers. So the revenue of each of the sales managers. So you can see apart from going to insert maybe start recommended chart, you can use the quick analysis tool. So another thing that you can do with this quick analysis is, for example, you want to find, if you want to find the totals. So for example, if you want to find the sum, if you want to find the average, and maybe you want to count the number of items, you can still choose from here what you want to do. So you can choose maybe auto sum. So for example, let me say I choose sum. You can see it has already welcome fruit. So for those who have just joined now, we are actually looking at a new thing called the quick analysis tool in Excel. This one. So the quick analysis tool allows you to actually analyze your data quickly. So what it basically does, it recommends various types of formatting that you can apply to your data, various type of charts that you can insert to your data. It also recommends you the kind of conditional formatting that you can apply to your data. So we've just gone through the procedure of actually using the quick analysis tool in Excel. So for you to be able to do that or to use the quick analysis tool, the first step that you have to do is to actually highlight the whole data that you want to analyze. So let me highlight this data. like this. Then after I've highlighted this data, there's this lightning symbol here at the bottom right corner. So, so when I hover around this lightning symbol, you can see that box that pops up for quick analysis tool, and the shortcut for finding it is highlighting the data and then pressing Control Q for you to access the quick analysis tool. So when I click on that, you can see it gives me various options that I can use to actually format my data. So for example, if I want to put data bus to my data, I can choose data bus. If I want to insert a color scale, I just choose color scale. If I want to highlight or maybe insert icon sets, I just select that. If I want to select maybe values that are maybe greater than maybe a certain value, so I just click here. For example, let me click that. So here you can now actually specify the values that you want. For example, I want values that are greater than 50,000. So when I put 50,000 here, then you will be required to specify the fill color that you want. So you can either choose these ones, light red, yellow, green, or you can custom format, maybe to put the color of your preference. So let me custom and now choose the color that I want. Maybe let me go with green, and then I click on OK. So as you can see, all the values that are greater than 50,000 have been formatted using this green font here, as you can see here. So let us actually still highlight this, and then maybe let me go for charts. So for charts, when I go to charts, you see it has recommended various charts for me that I can actually insert to this data. Either when I choose a line chart, you can see actually how it will appear when I choose a line chart. When I choose a stacked chart, you can see how it will appear when I select it. When I choose this column chart, you can see how it is. When I choose stacked column chart, you can see how it is. Also, when I choose this chart, you can see the kind of chart that I'll get if I select it. So the other thing, you can go for more charts. And when I go for more charts, you can see the various charts that have been recommended for me. So it's just upon me to choose which chart I want to insert to my data. So let me also come here and maybe you want to insert a table to your data. You see, I've just inserted a table to my data. You can see now how my data is. I've applied a table to my data. So let me undo that. So here is where we go. So let us, when you want to choose tables, you can either just choose to insert a table your whole data, you choose the first option. You want to insert pivot tables, you can see the various options of pivot tables that you can insert to your data. Yeah, this is another option of pivot table you can insert. So it is suggesting the type of pivot tables that you can insert to your data. You can see this one, and see the other one, and so on. So that's actually the use of the quick analysis toolbar. So it just recommends the type of formatting, the type of charts, type of totals that you can do to your data, type of tables that you can insert to your data. You want to insert spark lines, you can be able to do that. See, when I choose I want to insert spark lines, you can see how it appears here. Yeah, but let me undo. So still on sales data, maybe you want totals, maybe you want the summation, the sum. You can see when I choose sum, when I come here, you can see it has automatically summed my columns. For example, unit price, units and sale amount. I just have to format that as a number. Yeah, you can see. So I have not come here and say let me sum this. So it has automatically summed everything for me. So that's the beauty of using the quick analysis tool in Excel. So first step, highlight the data. If I've done that, go to either press Ctrl Q or click on the lightning symbol and then choose what you want now. So this gives you just the recommendations. So let me maybe hear from you if there's any question for this. So that's all about using the quick analysis tool in Excel. Any question? Or are you all okay? Hello? Let me know if you are okay up to that point before I continue. Okay, so you can see thumbs up, so it means most of you are okay with that. So that's a quick way of actually analyzing your data when, for example, you are uncertain of what you can do with your data. So just use the quick analysis tool to analyze your data. So I want to clear rules from this data. Go to home, conditional format, clear rules from entire sheet. So that's all about quick analysis. So I want us to look at another thing, which is conditional formatting. So conditional formatting actually allows you to actually insert rules to your cells that you have in your data. So it allows you to put conditions to your data. So I will just go to this sheet. I will use this, the one that we did for revenue, business performance for revenue. So there are some cases whereby you might want to put some condition to your data. For example, in 2018, I may be interested maybe to know sales that were made that are above 50,000. So maybe if a sale is made that is above 50,000, I want that sale maybe or the value in that sale to be green. And if a sale was below 50,000, so I want actually Excel to highlight that cell as red. So let's begin by 2018, and actually let's say our threshold was to sell goods that's worth more than 50,000. So we can actually do conditional format. So the first thing that you have to do is selecting the data range. So let us select this data for the various months in 2018. So after you've selected that, you go to home, go to where we have conditional formatting. So under conditional formatting, you can see we have various options that you can use to actually format your cells. So you can either highlight cells that are, for example, greater than maybe a certain value. In our case, maybe greater than 50,000, or maybe less than a certain value, or maybe less than 50,000 in our case, or cells that are between a given range, let's say maybe 50,000 to 100,000. So you can highlight those cells. You can also highlight cells that are equal to maybe a certain value. So when you are dealing with text, maybe you can highlight maybe cells that contain a particular text. You can maybe highlight cell that contains maybe a particular date that is occurring. You may also highlight duplicate values. So that's the first option. Another thing is you can actually apply the top and bottom rows. So you can maybe highlight the top 10 items that maybe was sold. So the top 10% maybe of revenue, or the bottom 10 items, the bottom 10%, or sales that were above average, or sales that were below average. Another thing that you can do is you can insert data bars. I believe we had looked at this earlier. So you can insert data bars to your cells. You can also insert color scales. So you can choose the options that you want. For my case, when, for example, I want to apply color scales. You can see how my cells are appearing right now, the way they are changing. You can see. Yeah. You can also choose icon sets that you want to apply to your data. So for example, maybe you want this icon set. Let me just choose this icon set and see how the way they appear here. Just make these columns to be bigger a bit so that's visible. So you can see we have the up arrows and the down arrows. So the up arrows mean maybe the trend was upwards. The down arrows maybe indicate the trend is actually downward, or in our case it means decreasing sales. Yeah. So let me undo that. So let's still go to home, conditional formatting. So we want icon set. So you can choose various type of icon set. You can either choose this, you can choose these ones, you can maybe choose this, the one that represents, like, they look like traffic lights. Yeah, you can choose these ones. Let's see how they appear. You can see. So let me now go to what we were doing. So I want to highlight, maybe I want the cells that contains values that are greater than 50,000 to be in green. So for me to do that, I'll come to conditional formatting and I go to new rule. So in new rule, I'll choose format only cells that contain specific values. So when I choose format only cells that contain, so you will see this dialog box that appears. So I'm just formatting basing on my cell values. So you can either choose, you can see here where we have this drop down. Maybe I want cells that are between a given range, maybe 50,000 to 100,000. So I can specify. So maybe I want cells that are not between. I want cells that are equal to, not equal to, or cells that are greater than. So here are the various options that you can choose, either greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and so on. So let us choose greater than or equal to. So I specify my value to be 50,000. So if my values are greater than 50,000, I want them to show green. So after I've done that, I go to where I have format. So under format, it will give you these options. Either you format the number, either you format it as a number, you want to format it as a currency, and so on. So let me go to font. I'll bold, and then I'll choose the color that I want. I want the green color. So I just click on OK. I click on OK. So as you can see from my screen, all those cells that contain values that are equal or greater than 50,000 have been highlighted in green. Yeah. And then we can also format cells that are less than 50,000 to be in red. Just highlight these cells like this. Go to home, conditional formatting, and then go where we have new rule, format cells that contain, and then this time now we are choosing less than 50 or less than 49,999, because the other time we had actually selected a greater or equal to. So now here I choose 49,999. Then I format, put my bold colors. So I want those cells to be in red. Click on OK. So as you can see in my data, all the cells that are actually less than 50,000 have been formatted in red. Yeah. So you can do the same thing for 20 for 2019. So that time the condition is I want you to format cells that are greater than 40,000. So greater than 40,000, you put them to be in green, and less than 39,999 to be in red. Just try that. See whether you can do it. Giving you 1 minute. Try formatting that. Try formatting that. Are you done? Hey, are you in a position to format? Winnie?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ruth Win? Okay. Okay, let us continue. So that's how you can actually uh, format your cells. So let us maybe try putting now the trends. So let us use the icon sets. The icon sets this way. You can actually see mostly the cells that are in red. You can see they have arrows that are pointing downwards, meaning the cells will decreasing. And for green, you can see the arrows are facing upwards mostly. So I think you can try the same. Maybe for sales agent, you can format those cells. So let me just take an example here. So we want cells that are maybe greater than 10,000 to be in green. So we'll just select the data. So home, go to home. We have conditional formatting. New rule says that contain greater than or equal to maybe 10,000. So I want those values to be in green. So I've actually done that. So let us insert another condition for conditional formatting. That is, go to new rule. Format says that contain will be less than 9999. So I want this to be highlighted in red. Something it doesn't add up there. So when you realize that maybe you have applied conditional formatting maybe the wrong way, you just go to home, go to conditional formatting, come to where we have manage rules. So where you have manage rules, you can see where we have where the rules that you've inserted to your cells. For example, here you can see you have two rules. You have this one for value greater than actually 10,000. You can see how it is, and then we have for values greater than 999. So the symbol was supposed to be less than. So we want to edit this rule. Just highlight it and go to edit. So where we have edit, choose less than now. So less than, and then go to this one should be greater or equal to 10,000. Then choose apply rules. You can see now we've managed to apply the rules in this case for the sales agent, and you can see now how we've highlighted those cells. The ones that are greater than 10,000, you can see they are highlighted in green. The ones that are less than that, they are highlighted in red. Yeah. So you can do the same. Maybe that I'll leave you as an assignment. Maybe you conditional format these cells based on the value that you choose. Maybe you can choose, for example, here for sales manager, you can choose maybe values that are greater than 30,000. Maybe you want those ones to be in green. The ones that are less than that, maybe let them be in red, or whichever color you choose. I hope we are fine up to that point, and hope I'm not leaving anyone behind. So for you to understand the various types of conditional formatting, just come here. You can see the various type of conditional formatting. that you can apply to your data. So we are done with conditional formatting, unless there is any question. So try format the one for cell manager and also the region. Just do it now. Region and product, sorry, the three. Are you done? Okay, hope you are done, and just to make sure you know the various kind of conditional formattings that are there. So know how to use them, know the rules that are applied. So it's that simple. It's not actually complicated. It's just straightforward. So we are done with that chapter. So we want to look at data validation. So data validation, we want to see what is actually data validation. Then after we've looked at what is data validation, we look at how can we use data validation in analyzing our data. So data validation, what we mean by data validation is that it's just a set of rules that we put in a cell so that controls actually the kind of input that is entered into that cell. For example, I might maybe specify that in this cell, for example, cell O2, that I want only the dates to be entered. So maybe I specify I want dates alone to be entered in this cell. So whenever someone is inputting data in this cell, it will only accept data values that are dates. So anything else that is not a date will not be accepted in this cell. So the aim of data validation is actually to make sure that there is data accuracy when you are actually inputting data in cells. So you just have to specify that in these cells, I want these data types to be entered. For example, I might only want numbers and not dates. So anyone who will enter maybe a date in that cell, it will give him or her an error. So it will prompt that person to put in the correct data type in that cell. Yeah. So just to illustrate how data validation works, so just click in any cell, like for example, I've clicked cell O4. Go to, after I've clicked on that cell, go to data. So when I go to data, go up to where you have data validation. So when you are at data validation, just click on data validation. So when you click on data validation, this box wizard appears. So at this data validation, you have three options, one for settings, one for input message, and one for an error alert. So under setting, you can actually allow, so which values do you want to allow to be entered in your cells? So do you want to enter any value, or do you want to enter a whole number, or do you want to enter a decimal, a number that contains decimals, or do you want to enter lists? Yeah, or do you want to enter dates? For example, if you want to enter date, you select date. Yeah, so you enter maybe you want dates from 1st of January this year up to now. So any other date apart from the dates that fall between maybe January up to date this year will be entered. Any date which falls outside that will actually be invalid in this data. So let us say you want from 2023 to today is 30th 05 2023. 23. So you can only enter values between these two dates. So no other values will be accepted here. So when you are done, you can go to maybe where you have the so let me enter here is 05 30th 30th. So it will just specify the dates that you have to enter in those cells. So it should be between 1st of January 2023 to 30th May 2023. So if a value is outside this range, you can create an error message. So that, for example, when someone enters maybe a date that is actually, for example, that was a date in 2022, it will give him or her an error. So you can specify the message, like for example, you tell this person to enter a valid date. So let us say input the error message, enter a valid date. So so let's put enter a valid date. Enter a valid date. So when we come here, maybe we want to insert a date. Let's say let me 0101 2023. So this will accept. Go here. Go to data validation. Click on data validation. So here you will have to specify the data type that you want. Either you want a list, you want a date, you want time, and so on. For example, maybe you want a list. A list. So maybe we want a list of month. Say maybe you want January. Let me say Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So those are maybe the months that you want to input maybe to your cells. So after you've done that, you just click OK. So when you've done that, you can now choose from the selection. So when I go to that cell, you can see already the months that I've actually highlighted. That is January. When I choose January, you can see how it pops up. So there is a drop down that you can choose from. So March, around June, and so on. So let us use now data validation to actually analyze this data. So from your end, hope you can see my screen here. So I have these sales agents, and then I have the products that they sold, and also maybe the number of products maybe they sold in the east, west, and the central region. And then we have the totals for all of them. So here we want to apply data validation rules. So as you can see, I have highlighted this will be a month filter. So we want to actually enter a data validation here, in that we will be able to select the various months, and it will be in a form of a list. So let us just do that. So select that cell that is K3. Go to data, and then click on data validation. We want a list. So choose Jan, Feb, March, April, May, like that up to December. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So those are our months for filters, for the month filter. Then after I've done that, I'll click on OK. So when I'm here on my month filter, I can choose either January, I can choose February, like this, I can choose March, and so on. So let us go to the year filter. Just click on that cell, that is L3. Go to data, and then choose data validation. So it's a list. So that list is 2018, 2019. So as you can see, under year filter, we have 2018, and we also have 2019. So we can also put a filter for weekday. So just click on M3, go to data, data validation, choose list. So weekday we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's it. So you can see we have a weekday filter. So you can either choose Monday, Tuesday, and so on. So when you've done this, you can actually combine the formulas that we've been using previously to filter your result. For example, we might be interested to know, for example, like Alexander in 2019 May. So what are the number of video games that he sold and so on. Let us just do a quick one here. This is just a repetition. So the sum ifs. So I want just to know the cells. So the first condition is actually the sales agent, the salesman, and then I highlight it's Alexander and I put a dollar sign, and then a comma, and then I highlight the product, which is, so I go to product, which is item, I press F4, then highlight its video game, I put a dollar sign like this, and then I will highlight now the month. Yeah, so I want to highlight the month. I want you to be keen here. So I come here, I highlight this column for month, press F4. So month, I specify, you see where just below the month filter, I specify the month that is in this cell and I lock it completely so that it doesn't move. I lock it by pressing F4. Yeah. And then the other thing is for the year filter. So I come to sales data where we have year, that's column C. Just press F4 to lock that column and come to here where we have the year filter and just lock it like this. So we can also do the same for the weekday. So go to sales data where we have day of the week, put F4 and then specify the day of the week that you want. So it is just below the weekday filter, and then press F4 to lock it. So I've done that, click enter. So let us try to autofill and see whether we can get this out. Yeah, we are getting a result for televisions. So maybe you can try changing the months. Like for example, in the month of June 2019, you can see there was no sale. So on Wednesdays, So let us see for the month of May 2018. Let's be changing dates. So you can see Stephen, or who is it, Michael, in 2018 May, he sold, the revenue that he got was 38,336 from selling television. So let's try maybe another month. So let's, from this drop down, let's select October 2019. Nothing at all was sold in October 2019. Let's try changing days. So we can see in December 2019, on Wednesday, Louis made a sale worth 47,000, I mean, and that's from selling home theaters. She made 47,000. So the beauty of this is that with this drop down, you can choose, for example, the month and the year, and it will actually filter the result for you automatically. Any question up to that point? Have you understood? Okay, I can see majority of you is saying you've understood the concept. So with this drop down, you can actually filter your results. So let us try actually filtering for various regions. Maybe the sales made for various regions, that is East, Central, and West region. So let us just make use of the SUMIFs, the SUMIFs function. Then after we've done that, go to the sum range, F4. Then the first criteria is for the agent. So agent is Alexander. A dollar sign like this. And then the other one is for the region. So go to sales data, go to where we have region, put F4 and highlight the region as East, like this. Put a dollar sign here. And then let us specify the month and the year alone. So today I will not do the weekday, month and the year. So let us start with the month. Put F4. Here, let's specify it's close the month first. Month, let us specify it's that. And then go to the year. Put F4 here. And then go to year. unlock it. So that's it. Press enter. So as you can see, we've actually found the sales made by Alexander in the East region. As you can see, the month is August and the year is 2018. So let me autofill for the various agents. So let us change the year. So when you change the year, you can see these values are changing. Yeah. Maybe let's change the month. You can see the way this value is changing. So let's say August. You can see this value is changing simultaneously. What about July? You can see the way the values are changing. So this is like a drop down. You just choose what's happening. Maybe let's say 2018. Let's say September 2019. You can see. So with this, you can actually filter your data. So you are using the concept of data validation in filtering your data to get the results. Hope now the concept is well understood. So I leave this as an assignment. You do data validation for the region, that is East, Central, and the West region. So put data validation here for the month filter, the year filter, and the weekday filter. So you want to analyze the sales in the East region generated from selling video games, home theaters, television, cell phone, and desk in the East region. The same to Central and the West region. I believe you can do that. So the procedure is just simple. You just make use of the sum if formulas in actually trying to get the revenues for these items in these regions, and then make sure you tie it with actually this cell for the month, year, and maybe weekday, but just deal with the month and the year first, leave along the weekday. So for example, if here it's January, make sure you connect this cell to this month. So the question that you're asking yourself is that what was the amount of sales that was actually made in the East region for video games in the month of January, the year 2018 or 2019. So make sure here you put the filter for month, and here you put the filter for year, so that when you select, these values here will be changing automatically. It will be like a template.
Fred, I have a clarification to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
This table, you came up with it,
Yeah, I just came up with it.
and then the month filter, year filter, week. That one we type it or.
Yeah, this you type it.
Oh, okay.
You
So the formula is just below it.
yeah,
The
the
one
formula
below.
is below it. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. So you see below month filter, year filter, and weekday filter. So in these cells, you apply data validation.
The
Yeah,
validation, okay, yeah.
by highlighting all the months. For example, if it's a month filter, all the months from January to December. Also, for the year, you do data validation for the year. That is 2018 and 2019. So you see here, you cannot come and put another year like 2017 because you had already specified the years that you want to be input in these cells. So you just pick it from the drop down, yeah, like that. So, for example, someone might ask you, maybe the cell generated by a particular agent in a particular month and maybe during a certain year. So you apply just filters and you get your answer. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can just come up with this table the way it is and then try applying data validation and combining with the formulas that we learned the other time of some is. Try come up with this table and also see whether you can do it. So this will actually help you when analyzing your data. And maybe you want to filter your data maybe using certain times or certain periods like years, months, days, and so on, or any other value that you want to use as a filter. So you can do this. You can fill the whole of this table. Come also try to do this one for region. So the table for region, for example, you might be interested to know that the revenue generated by selling video games in the East region during the month of January, the year being 2018 or 2019. Same applies here. You want to know maybe sales made by Martha in the East region during the month of January, year maybe 2018 or 2019. So the objective is when you select the drop down, you should be able to filter this data accordingly. Yeah, so that's the objective. So I believe we call it a day up to that point. We pick it tomorrow from there. So majority of the students are absent. So let us not go that far. We might end up leaving them far much behind. So we want to end there for today. Tomorrow we'll pick from here. So I'll come and see whether you've managed to apply data validation here and whether you can be able to filter data for these particular agents, for particular regions, and so on. Then after that, we will go to pivot tables, which is another great tool for analyzing data in Excel. So maybe if there is any question up to that point before we end it there. If there is no question, maybe we encourage feedback from you, how you find the session, whether you learn something new. We start from Winnie.
Um, yes, I learned something new. The Of course, the validation and the other conditioning formatting.
Conditional formatting.
Yes, so yeah, that's totally new to me. So yeah, and it's not as hard as it looks in the Excel.
That's easy.
Yeah.
What about the quick analysis?
Well, that one I came in when it was in the middle, so I'll have to watch the YouTube to
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. We're just learning gradually. So I believe at the end of this, you'll have at least have some mastery of Excel. And you can use it to analyze your own data.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Ruth, Kigan, maybe as we wait for Ruth.
I've learned a ton of things and it has been interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks. What about Ruth?
For me, every day is a learning day, and I appreciate the class was good.
Okay, thank you. So what I just encourage is let it not end here. So we gain a skill by doing it more frequently. That is by putting practice into it. So before you become a master, so you must have exercised it several times. So just continue practicing and actually try to find more challenges and actually try tackling those challenges using the concepts that we've just covered. For example, you can maybe look for a data set, just maybe not the same as the one that I've shared with you. So look for any data set and try to analyze it using the concept that we've just learned. So I think with that, you'll be able to actually master Excel.
Fred,
Yes.
I had a question prior, like during the day. You remember?
Yeah.
So if I can't autofill,
Yeah.
is there anything? What should I do?
Yeah. So I think do you do you have you opened the Excel that you were file that you were trying to autofill?
It's this one. It's the same one, but you see, but I was using my the work desktop,
Yeah.
but in my laptop I can autofill, but in the desktop I couldn't. Is there something I should do in formatting?
I think were the formula speaking correctly?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was putting the formulas correctly because the first answer gave me the correct answer.
Okay.
So now the problem came when I wanted to autofill. It populated zeros all through.
So, and when it populates zero, for example, when you choose one of the cell, when you click on one of the cell, does it bring the formula?
It brings the same formula, like it doesn't change anything,
So that's a
or
if.
or it changes something, or it just changes something in the formula, maybe a column or something. Yeah.
I think maybe the formulas were not picking correctly, I guess. That's why you were getting zero. You know, when for example, in a formula, when maybe you are referencing a certain formula and maybe when you try to autofill, maybe the formula, the cell that you are trying to reference changes. So you might end up maybe getting zeros because the cells actually have changed. But I believe it could actually be easier, for example, if we could tackle it when maybe you are presenting the screen so that we can actually figure out where the real problem was.
Well, I don't know. Maybe let's see. I'll check on it tomorrow.
Yeah, like for example, you see, let me share with you my screen here. It was like this. Which formula were you to, which column were you trying to autofill?
So I was doing. You remember the one we were doing yesterday for, was it
Text.
product, the product performance, or which one are we doing? The quantity.
Oh, okay, okay.
We were doing the quantity
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put even the year one, the 145, that one up there,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the 145 correctly,
Mm-hmm.
but now the autofilling is the problem. When I pull the plus sign, now it populates zero on every.
It was this one, isn't it? Is it product? Anyway, let me.
The quantity just move. Yeah, that one.
It was this, eh?
Yes.
So was it the year or the sales
Even
agent?
both of them, both the ear and the sales agent.
Hmm.
So if I've already done the unique part, that one was okay.
Yeah.
Um, so when I've done the formula for January
Okay.
and I autofill.
I think the issue was the cells. You see the way we were locking cells the other time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's somewhere maybe you didn't lock the cell properly. So the formula that you were trying to actually reference, actually that cell changed. For example, if I have a value here, a formula here for the sales for the sales for the month of January, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I try to autofill, yeah,
Mm.
and here I was referencing the year 2018, and
Yeah.
maybe I did not lock it properly. You see, when I autofill to February, so this 2018 actually this cell changes to here where we have January, and you
That
see
is
here,
what exactly that is what was happening.
yeah. So you did not lock the cells well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the main issue.
Uh,
So what you do, you just ensure you lock the cells well. So let me just do it here for your
you can
sake.
just do the first one, yeah. Just do the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. So it was ifs. you go to, I'm looking for the sales data. We were summing the units, isn't it?
Units, yes.
Units. Then, so let us specify the first condition, which is the year, like that. Just press F4. Then, now the year now. So you see, I am locking now the column. So by putting a dollar sign before B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this will enable me to drag this formula downwards. Yeah, but when I drag across, that cell will remain. It will not move to. Right now it is B4. It will not move to C4. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I put this dollar sign, it will prevent that cell from shifting from B4 to C4. You got it?
Yes.
Yeah. Then let us specify now the month. Go to sales data. Oh, we have month. F4. Then so after I've done that, you see I've highlighted the month. So I want the month to move across. So I lock
Mm-hmm.
the row. Yeah. Locking the row, it means you place the dollar sign after that cell, that is after C. So put a dollar sign there to lock it like that. You see now?
Mm-hmm.
So when I drag it this way, you see this one does not move. So when I put my cursor here and put my cursor on the formula bar, you can see where the boxes are. Yeah?
Oh, the 2018 is not moving.
Yeah, it's not moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I need to do another formula for 2019.
So you don't have to do that because when we locked 2018, when we lock now the column, it means we can autofill downwards. Yeah. You see here where we have B4.
Yes.
This is where now we locked now the column.
Uh-huh.
So this one allows us to actually autofill downwards. Yeah.
Okay.
And this allows us to autofill maybe across. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for you to find the quantity so for 2019, just autofill downwards. So just drag. You see, now the cell has changed from B. It was B4 now to B5.
B5, yeah.
Yeah, it has moved to B5. So what we are trying to prevent, we don't want that cell maybe to move to C4. We just want it to remain at B. Yeah.
Okay.
You see it is B, B, B. So we
Mm.
don't want that cell to maybe move from B to C. You
Okay.
understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll see.
Yeah. So
Okay.
also autofill here to get for the all months.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let us call it a day. Let us meet tomorrow.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
I wish you all a lovely night.
Okay, good night.
Yeah. Yeah.